like you said, all the conflicting interests, because for a lot of people that don't know, one of the reasons why the Vietnam War is considered a failure is, you know, basically a war that the United States lost, is because when it comes to issues like this firearm, the M16, you know, there was a rifle that was engineered that was ready to go and whatnot, but there were unnecessary changes made to it. The AR10 that became the AR10.
The AR10
solely for this, and it was for the sake of ego and for certain military contracts, you know, to rewarding, you know what I'm saying, just grift, you know what I'm saying. And so, you know, what happened is you get a situation where soldiers, and not all of them are even completely trained or trained in how to use firearms, period. They get a weapon that can't, they're not given cleaning kits, so they can't even clean their weapons correctly. There's part of the manufacturing process makes it so it changes the powder, the gunpowder that's used in the bullets, so the firing rate becomes random and unpredictable. So every time you pick up your weapon to use it and discharge, you don't know how quickly you're going to go through your magazine.
Oh, did you know about this? There's this thing called a chain fire when the barrel's too hot, or sometimes when something's too hot, the rounds could just cook off. Just because of the powder, because the bullet really really is just three parts. It is the projectile, it's the case, and then it's the percussion cap, which is at the end. Originally, those three separate parts during the American Civil War were separate. You had to put on the percussion cap by itself, you had to pour on the powder, and then you had to put in the projectile.
Oh, that's what it was, okay.
And then before they had the percussion cap, they had this thing called the flint, hence the Flintlock Musket, and those didn't work when it was raining outside. And that's why we have a song, our band has a song called Keep Your Powder Dry, because when you don't, before the percussion cap was invented, they needed dry conditions for that flint to ignite the gunpowder. Hence, keep your powder dry. Being something that the generals always said to their troops before battle.
Okay.
Yeah, so you kind of get the whole...
Well, the thing is, I knew that, I was aware of that analogy, but like I said, there was more minute, nuances of it.
All bullets are basically those three parts, so it's not exactly impossible to create those on your own. So a children's toy, a cap gun, is basically plastic versions of those percussion caps. Because if you just ignite a percussion cap on its own, it'll make a spark.
Yeah, so the concept is pretty simple. It's just about using a, whatever tool that is more durable. So if you have something that's as durable as, a machine gun or an automatic rifle, you can shoot some very dangerous, or you can shoot projectiles at a very dangerous, rate.
So here's I think we might start to open up this can of worms a little bit. I won't get too heated on it, but I know quite a bit with like the history of firearms. So people are talking about like restricting gun sales or people being able to build guns on their own. So it's already been so many years. Like this, the World War II was over 70 years ago now, and they manufactured guns that could be built by resistance groups, even because the Germans would want to confiscate any weapons that they're not using. So even in those conditions, they wanted to make guns that were easy for a rebel group to build on their own in secret in their basements. So they created the Sten Gun. So I'll pull up a picture for you.
I think I'm familiar with that.
They created the Sten Gun for the French resistance and the British to build themselves. And basically...
who created this?
The Allies. The British designed it so the French could use it. And basically you could build it you could actually build a really crude version out of pipes from a house. So they wanted it just so people could build it in secret. Anybody could build it. And you basically, and from a school shooter's perspective, this is horrible. Obviously don't do this. But, this is horrible. Like, basically, from a...
We do not officially endorse any school shooters.
Jeez. So, the Sten Gun, basically, it's a fully automatic weapon. In fact, it's only automatic, too. And it's always open bolt when it's not, even when you have... It's usually carried unloaded. But any person could carry this into a classroom, build it their own in their basement, and mow down a room full of 30 people. And anybody could build it.
That's fucking nuts.
That's why, like, here's common training for this. Now, here's a safety precaution for those of you who are in the middle of, like, a shooting or something. What you're usually trained to do to avoid the line of fire is that you lay down. When you lie down, you see, you can only sweep from left to right. When you're running in different directions, you're still in the line of fire. But when you lie down, you have to do this. You have to, like, aim towards the ground, and it's not exactly in that same sweeping line like this. So instead of like this, you have to do like this, and then you have to, like, pick every target that's on the ground, and you're not going to be able to get everybody like that. So it's like, you know, well, obviously there's no video, but but yeah, you have to aim towards the ground and towards that way. Yeah, but that's the Sten Gun. That's and they still, the Hell's Angels use that. It's very popular with biker gangs.
Oh shit!
It's very popular in once again Africa. This is gonna come up again.